Guess we're live. Hello, everybody. I guess we're live today. All right, we're telling everybody that we're live, we're live, we're live. Canada Reality is live as always. Welcome on board, welcome on board. We're live. Welcome on board, welcome on board, welcome on board. We're live. Let's try to get more people on board. Yeah, welcome, 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 welcome as always. This is Canada Reality with your own boy MC Bernardino. Yes, I do this every Sunday. Yes, I have a guest. So my guest, I'll be introducing my guest very soon. So I want more people to join us before I introduce my guest. So yes, today, as always, every Sunday we do Instagram Live where I bring in a resource to come and speak to us. So today I have a very good personality. In fact, two guests. So today they will be sharing with you how best you can pass your English test. So my guest will be coming up very soon. So I want more people to come on board before I bring in my guest. So, call your friends, share this with your friends, share this with everybody around you. Let's have more people on board before we kickstart. So, just like I said, my guests, they are resource. They are very vast when it comes to English test. So, they will be telling us today how best you can pass your English test. Because you want to agree with me that as far as immigrating to Canada is concerned, you need English test. Either you want to come in through express entry, provincial, nominee, whatever pathway you want to come into Canada, you need English test. So these people that I'm bringing today, they will be sharing with you how best you can prepare for it and how you can come out in flying colors. So that's what they will be telling us today. So I just want more people to join us before I bring in my guests. So if you have any question, they will do justice to those questions today. So, share the news, share this with everybody around. Let them know that we are live and we are about to kickstart Instagram Live with your own boy, MC Bernardino, and this is Canada Reality. All right, so let's join. Let's have more people, and very soon I'll be introducing my guests. In fact, they will introduce themselves, and they will be doing justice to this topic today. Because the reason why I actually created this platform is to help people. Because I know information is very pertinent. It's very important that people get this information, and that's why I created this platform. And I will not stop at anything to continue to help people because when I was coming into this country, I had limited information. So I felt that people that are outside Canada that wants to come into Canada, they are yearning for information like this. So that's why I created this platform so that people can get this information on a platter of gold. So, and I will not renege in doing this. So without further ado, I think I'll be bringing in my guests. So as more people join us, I'll be bringing in my guests now so that we can kickstart. Don't forget, it's always for 1 hour. And that's just what we are going in anytime soon. So let's hang on for my guests to join us today as they'll be doing justice to. Oh, here they
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Good. How
We're
are
doing
you?
great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm awesome. Thanks so much for joining us on Instagram Live today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. We're excited
All
to
right,
be
so
here.
I want you to do a quick introduction of who you are and let the viewers out there know who you are.
Great. Yes. Well, first, thank you so much for having us. We're excited to be here. I'm Shannon and
I'm Jessica.
yes. And obviously we're sisters. If you couldn't tell, we are twin sisters and we're both IELTS teachers. And we've been teaching the IELTS exam for 8 years now. We started our own website. It's called IELTSmarshallscom. And we have online courses and online classes to help thousands of students from around the world. So yeah, it's been a really great experience. And basically we help people move to Canada, study there, and it's been great seeing people really accomplish their goals. Yeah. So yeah, we're excited to share more about that even later. And, just a couple days ago, I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you, but, we helped a man from Mumbai go from a 6.5 to a 7, and he just got his invitation to apply for permanent residency. So yeah, we love hearing those stories. We love being a part of people's success. And, we want to ask, the group that's watching right now, we want to know more about you. We want to know, have you taken the IELTS exam before? So if you have, write yes in the comments, or no if you haven't. Just so we can get a little bit of a read on your experience. And then also, if you can, tell us what's the hardest section of the exam for you. So is it reading, listening, writing, speaking? So go ahead and let us know. And we'll just kind of read those answers as we continue. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Jessica and Shannon. Thank you very much for that quick introduction. And just like Shannon just said, so, I mean, if you have any part of the English test, I mean, for the viewers out there, any part of the English test you're having trouble with, why not just drop it in the comment section? Have you done it before in the past? How many times have you done it? There's going to be a solution to all your questions today. All right. Thank you very much once again for the introduction. So you said you've been into IELTS for, I mean, teaching English for the last 8 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah. It's been for the last 8 years, almost 9 now. Yes. It kind of feels like a shorter time. I feel like this past year has gone so fast just being in quarantine, but now almost 9 years. But yeah, it's been really great. We've taught in-person classes in other countries, and now we teach all online, and we also have pre-recorded video courses. And yeah, we help people mostly through our website and email newsletter now. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. That's great. All right. So awesome. So so can you tell our viewers out there, I mean, as more people join us, what do you have for us today? I mean, how can you help them to, I mean, people to pass their English test?
So yeah, so basically what we're going to focus on today are writing and speaking. We're going to give some advice and some strategies. So I think maybe, Shannon, if you wanted to kick us off with some writing advice. You know, writing seems to be a tough spot for a lot of people, and people kind of get stuck at a 6.5. They can get a 7. So yeah, and then they have to take the test multiple times. So that is not what we want. So we're going to give some strategies and share some big mistakes that people make on the writing. And Shannon can start us off with that. So I'm going to go like this. Yes. Okay. So yeah, we're going to share the biggest mistakes that we see people make. Mistake number 1 is that, you know, people forget that the task 2 essay is formal. So we'll see a lot of contractions in there, slang words, abbreviations, but don't do that on your task 2 essay. It should be formal. Make sure there are no exclamation points, no question marks. So it's kind of like an essay you would write in high school or college, something like that. And you want to make sure that it's formal. Mistake number 2 is that people don't really organize their essays well. We want you to write 4 paragraphs, an introduction, 2 main paragraphs, and a conclusion. And we also want people to skip a line between each paragraph so that the paragraphs look clear and separate on the page. That will help with the readability. It'll look so much better that way. Mistake number 3, people tend to write like robots a little bit. You don't want to sound like a robot in your task 2 essay. You want to sound more natural. So this happens a lot when people write transitions. They'll write transitions like, first of all, second of all, third of all, fourth of all. You don't want to sound that robotic. You don't want to sound like you memorized transitions for the essay. We want you to use more natural sounding transitions. So I'm going to ask the people who are watching a question. I'm going to give you 2 options of transitions, and you guys tell me if you like option 1 better, type 1. If you like option 2 better, type 2. So here's transition number 1. Firstly, vegetables are tasty. Secondly, vegetables are healthy. Or transition number 2. In addition to their health benefits, vegetables are also tasty. So which one sounded better to you? Transition 1, firstly, vegetables are tasty. Secondly, vegetables are healthy. Or transition number 2, in addition to their health benefits, vegetables are also tasty. So go ahead and you can write 1 or 2, whichever one you think sounds better. So I see a 2 over there. Yes.
2 for me 2
okay.
also.
Yes. Okay. So we see another 2. We see a 1. So most people would probably say number 2. And the reason for this is it's not as memorized. It's not as rote. And 2 will probably get you a higher score on the IELTS writing task 2 essay. It just sounds like you're a natural writer. And the first one sounds memorized, a little too robotic. But yes, Jessica's going to talk about some more mistakes that we see people make on the writing task 2 essay. Yeah. Yes. So we're going to get into a bigger mistake that people make. And this is mistake number 4. People don't make their position crystal clear in their essay. So what do we mean by having a crystal clear position? So let's take an essay topic. Art education should be mandatory in primary school. Do you agree or disagree? So again, we're going to bring it back to you guys, and we want you to tell us what you think. Do you agree or disagree with the idea that art education should be mandatory? So go ahead and type agree or disagree.
And it doesn't matter. You know, we just want to know what
really
you think.
matter. Yeah. So just for fun, just to see what we think about this topic. Good. And as you're thinking about it, we had one student write this in an essay. So he said this. Okay, so we didn't agree. Well, he said, I somewhat agree, but I also disagree in some ways. So, okay, so there's some more agrees. So again, this student said, I somewhat agree, but I also disagree in some ways. So what do you think is wrong with this response? So go ahead, think about it for a moment, type it into the comments so that we can read it. What do you think the student did wrong? Okay. And I love, we have a lot of agrees, a lot of art education fans. Good. Now, I know some of you are thinking it. Some of you are probably typing it. The answers are coming up soon. But he's confused. It's too confusing that the position is unclear. So it's too confusing if you both agree and disagree. Because again, this student said, I kind of agree and I kind of disagree. So our advice is to not do that. Choose one side. I 100% agree. Yes. And I 100% disagree. Yeah, you take a position. It's much easier to read an essay like that.
And you'll get a higher score too. It'll be clearer.
Yeah, it'll be clearer. And that's what the examiners want. They want a clear essay.
So it's better for you to like take a stand to whether you agree or you disagree. You can't stand in between, right?
Yeah. I mean, people do that and they can make it work, but we advise against it because it's too confusing. And a lot of people can't pull it off just right.
Yeah, we've done this for 8 years now, and I've seen a lot of people try to take this in between approach, and 95% of the time, the essay is bad when it's done that way. Yes, but maybe like really, really skilled writers who are not only good at English, but are just really gifted writers, they can pull it off, but just stick with one side if you can. And even if you don't completely agree with it,
pretend you know,
yeah, just write about it that way.
You know what? I can actually remember when I did my English test, and I remember there was an essay like that. I have to take a stand. So I took a stand and I said I agree. And after I've written everything in the last paragraph, I just let them realize that on the other side, it's not that the other side of it is not so, it's not bad, but the first side, which I agree with, is the best side. So sometimes you also want to let them know that on the contrary, it's also education is also good or whatever, but the main one you're standing with is the best. Yeah,
that's right.
That's right. Yeah, you want the examiner to know that you think your side is the best, and you reiterated that. Yeah,
that's good. I love that you also put it in the conclusion again. So you do want your position to be in the essay a lot. You wanted to mention You want to mention it right away in the introduction and again in the conclusion, and sprinkled in there as well. And that's why we want to go over, how would you go ahead and say, let's pretend we agree. So a lot of people agreed with this, that art education should be mandatory in primary school. So how do we make this position clear? So you gave a great example. That's perfect. And we would say right in the introduction, we would say, I agree that art education should be mandatory. We would say it explicitly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I think someone is trying to join us to ask a question. Okay. I don't know, but you can continue though.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what was happening. Okay, good.
So good. So yeah, so that's great. And now we're going to move on to mistake number 5. Now, we want everyone watching this to guess what is the mistake that was made here. Oh, it looks like someone's joining us, so we'll hold off.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi.
yeah, boss. I've been following you for quite some time now.
Thank you very much. Do you have a question for my guest today regarding English? Have you taken English test in the past?
Yes. What's the name?
IELTS?
No, IELTS, not
TOEFL?
TOEFL. Pearson's. Yeah, I did Pearson's.
Pearson's, yeah.
Okay. So what's your thought on it?
I can't hear you.
So how was it? What was it for? What did you take it for? What was it for? What was the exam for?
My school needed my school was actually organizing an English proficiency exam. So it was just for the school. So I just used the opportunity to take Pearson's because it's accepted not just in the school but other European countries. So I didn't just want to do the one for the school that would just end in the school.
Okay.
So this is based on IELTS, right?
Yes, that's the topic of discussion is about IELTS. That's correct.
Okay, now my question is this: for the PR or the other one you were talking about the other day, the state's own.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have a 5 point in your IELTS, does it still qualify you, or 5 points is a no-no?
Okay, so where are you joining us from? I didn't ask you that. Where are you joining us from?
From Turkey.
Oh, from Turkey. Okay, so I might not be able to answer that question directly because I don't know what your question is. So if you're looking at doing IELTS, which is the English test, I will want to say the minimum band you should be looking at for is CLB7. That's band 7. And in IELTS, CLB7 is like I think it's 6 in all writing, speaking, listening, and writing. So that's the minimum you should be looking at. But that should not be your aim. You should be aiming at scoring more marks. Okay. So I
whoever has five cannot. Whoever has five, CLB5 cannot go through.
It's not going to be helpful. And these guys out here, Shannon and Jessica, they are here to help you to lift it up from 5 to. They are going to teach you the tricks, the tips on how you can lift it up from 5 to 7.5, 7 to 7.5. So I will advise you to just listen and while they continue to tell us those tips. Okay. Yeah, Shannon, you can continue.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's cool. It's very cool to have people from different countries and Turkey. That's awesome. That's exciting. And it's nice to meet you guys and to be here. And yeah, of course, like, having a 5 band score, we can improve that. And there are, just knowing the format of the IELTS exam really well, you can definitely improve that 5. Or CLB5, I think that's like score 6. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, good. So that's going to lead us to mistake number 5. This is going to be the last kind of big mistake that we talk about for writing. And so we want you to guess what the mistake is. And we're going to read you what one of our students wrote in his essay. So okay. So again, this is one of his sentences. Even though there are advantages to raising children in the countryside, like being around nature, I'm still confident that the city is a better place for them because the schools are better, which means these same children can get better jobs in the future, and these children can also make more money for themselves and for their families. So again, that was one sentence that our student wrote in his essay. So go ahead and write to us in the comments. What do you think went wrong here? We'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. It might not be obvious right away, but yeah. Oh,
yeah. I have another question now. This happened to a friend of mine. There are people all over Facebook, Instagram. They put out Instagram handles and flyers about them writing IELTS for people without them appearing physically. And I personally have witnessed them scam people of over 5 million. They tell you we're going to give you the certificate straight coming from the IELTS, either the Europe own or Canada own, and they would tell them, and they actually issue out certificates. But my friend, they scammed him over 5 million, and I just told him, he thought he was carrying an original IELTS, which he had to use to go to UK and Canada. And I told him to just, when he told me he did it, I was skeptical because I've never heard people doing IELTS for people. Then I collected I told him the username and the password. He said the guy didn't give it to him. Okay, I told him to just give me the number. Then I went to the IELTS site and I checked it, and they said it was not there, like there's no name like that. And after I challenged the guy blocked him all over. So I want to ask, is there any way at all people actually write IELTS for people?
Well, obviously on this channel, and Jessica and Shannon will want to agree with me, we never encourage shady or scammers. So nobody's going to tell you, in the first place, someone taking an exam for you, that's impersonation, and that's criminal. So,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you did the right thing by telling your friend that was wrong. And that's what Shannon and I also, and Jessica and I will be telling you to, that's wrong. And that's why I brought these people to you. Instead of getting someone to write it for you, why not learn how you can actually improve your score yourself? So you did a great job by telling your friend that was wrong. So I don't know about that, and I would never encourage that on this platform. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, over to you, Shannon and Jessica.
And that was interesting. Yeah, good thing to bring up. Yeah, you just want to make sure you do things the right way. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and these strategies should, be able to help you, if you're stuck, to get a higher score for sure. So I did see some one or two answers. We're gonna
some people have question for you here. They said realistically, do you think it's possible to score the maximum point achievable in writing, reading, speaking, and listening? So they're asking, is it possible to score 999 in all bands?
It's possible to score it. I haven't seen it often. I would say I've seen 1 or 2 9s per person, but I haven't seen one person who got all 4 9s yet. Yeah, I would say the same thing, even for, a native speaker from South Africa, a native English speaker as well. She got all 9s except for a 7.5 in writing. So, I mean, she was the closest that I've seen. Yes, okay. And also a native speaker that I helped. We had one-on-one classes. He's British. He's from the UK. He was born there, grew up there, and he got 9s on all parts except for writing. He couldn't get a high score on writing. So even native speakers. So helped him with that. Yeah, so I
think writing is one of the major challenges people face. Writing, yeah. Right? Yeah.
It can be really hard.
That's true.
It's not only a matter of just language ability. It's also a matter of logic, being able to organize it really well, and also being able to sound very natural, and also being very direct and simple. A lot of people, and we'll talk about this too, kind of think they have to be really fancy with it, but that's not really what examiners are looking for. And that kind of goes along with what we're talking about with this sentence. I'll read it one more time. Even though there are advantages to raising children in the countryside, like being around nature, I'm so confident that the city is a better place for them because the schools are better, which means these same children can get better jobs in the future, and they can make more money for themselves, and they can make more money for their families. So this was one sentence. And the issue is that this sentence is too long. It's too wordy. It's like I didn't know when the sentence was going to end, and I was kind of out of breath reading it, so I'm a little winded. So mistake number 5 is that people just go on and on and on. So they don't know when the right time is to end the sentence. And we think people feel tempted to write these really long and wordy sentences because they think that's what they need to do to get a high score. But this is actually the opposite. This will actually lower your score. It makes the essay too hard to read. So thankfully, this mistake can be fixed easily, and you can know if you're making it. Just at home after you're done practicing writing, read a sentence out loud. Did it take you more than 2 breaths to read it? If so, your sentences are probably too long and too wordy. So our suggestion is to break up really long sentences into shorter ones so that they're easier to read. The examiner doesn't have to be completely confused. And sometimes that means you have to delete some details. You have to get rid of some details that you wanted to include. And this is just to save the beauty and the simplicity of the sentence. That's what's more important here. So we rewrote the example that our student wrote about the city and the countryside. So here is what we think is a better way to write it. Even though there are advantages to raising children in the countryside, I'm so confident that the city is a better place for them. There are better schools there. So yeah, we want everyone who's watching, you know, if you think the second example is easier to understand and easier to read, put a thumbs up emoji in the comments. Yeah, and that's what we believe too. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And that's our advice to you. Keep your sentences clean, keep them simple.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. I have a question. I mean, if you have any question for the viewers out there, if you have any question for Shannon and Jessica, please drop it in the comment section. And if you want to ask us a live question, I mean, you're free to join us. I have a question because I remember when I did it, one of the major challenges I faced was the word counts. How do you go about the word counts? I mean, you know, you have to do 200 for the second task. You have to be 250 words. How do I go? Do I have to start counting?
That's a great question. So our advice is to hit certain sentences for each paragraph. Your introduction should be 2 sentences. Your main paragraphs should be 5 sentences each. And your conclusion should be 1 sentence. And if you hit those 13 sentences, then you will be able to hit the 250 words.
Can you come again with that trick? I like that. Yeah. So someone has a question for you. Someone has a question. How can I practice harder for the IELTS exam from Asia? You have an answer to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say to practice harder is to take mock exams. And, you know, you can find on the official Cambridge website, there's a practice exam. Take reading exams over and over, take listening exams, actually know what the format is, and just take them over and over. You will improve. Even if the beginning is a little rough, you have to practice actual exam questions. And then obviously for writing, write a lot. Even for speaking, even if you don't have a partner, speak out loud at home. It helps to improve fluency. Do you have anything to add? Yes, the free IELTS exams that you can practice are on the Cambridge website, the British Council website, and the IDP websites. And those are actual, like, real questions that you would see on the IELTS exam. Also, you can buy a Cambridge IELTS book, and that is really helpful. And they have 4 exams in each book. Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you very much for that. So I wanted you to come again with that word count. You're saying something about the sentence, so come again, please. I like that trick.
Yes, so your essay should be 13 sentences total. The introduction should be 2 sentences. Each main paragraph will be 5 sentences each, and then the conclusion will be 1 sentence. So if you hit the 13 sentences, you will hit the 250 word count. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. Thank you. Someone is saying thank you so much. Yeah, that's great.
Good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. And you know, if you guys also need any more strategies or writing help, we also give a lot of writing advice too. But pretty much it's practice, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you want to talk more about that? Oh yeah. So I was just gonna say, you know, if anyone has any more questions about the writing, feel free, drop it in the comments right now. And, you know, one question that we also get to a lot, definitely the word count is a huge issue. So I'm really glad you brought that up. A lot of people have trouble getting to that 250 words. And then also people just want to know, they say, how do I get more vocabulary?
A question for you here before we go. So my exam is on the 24th of April in about 2 weeks. I'm nervous already. So what do you have to say to this person here?
Yes.
2 weeks time.
Yes. I mean, I think you can definitely prepare in 2 weeks. Just take some practice tests before April 24th and you'll do great. Good luck. You know, I think having the practice tests will prepare you well. And then follow our strategies. You know, make sure your writing is clear, direct. Your main goal is to communicate as clearly as you can. Don't try to be too fancy with it. Just write as clearly as you can. And we're also going to give some speaking advice too. And that tends to be another section where people get nervous because, you know, you're face to face with someone. It can be a lot of pressure. And
Yeah.
and we also get a lot of questions. People ask us all the time, you know, how do I improve my vocabulary before my IELTS exam? You know, how do I, you know, which vocabulary words should I study? So we always tell these people, you have the vocabulary you need to get a high score right now. So we actually don't suggest that you go online, look up random vocabulary lists and memorize them before the test. This will actually hurt your score. You might use these words incorrectly. They might not sound natural. They'll probably sound weird and not really native or natural. So just try to make sure that you communicate clearly. That's the most important thing. Yeah. So
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Oh, good. Yes.
Good. Yes, we're glad we can help.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And we do
Yeah,
have
I
some
have a
more.
question. I have a question if you don't mind. I mean, I need to ask question on behalf of my viewers because I get these questions a lot. So my question will be, we've been talking about writing, right? So let's deviate a little bit to speaking. Just like Canon just said now. So when you're speaking in front of the examiner, I mean, sometimes you're nervous. So what about people like me or people like my viewers that have accents? So how do you I mean, there's nothing I can do about my accent, right? So I'm speaking and I need to speak well. What's your advice?
Yeah, we get this question a lot from everyone, and you can go ahead and answer it.
We actually, and that's a really good question. A lot of people are worried about that. And you know what we tell people, and we tell them that everyone has an accent, including native speakers from all regions of the world, and it's not a problem. The only time it becomes a problem is if the examiner can't understand what you're saying. So, and that's why, you know, if people are very worried about their accent, we do have some strategies that can help. And the first strategy is practice at home, speaking very clearly and then speaking a little bit more slowly than usual.
Yeah,
so that,
slowly. Yeah, that's the word, slowly, not fast.
Yeah, that helps.
And, you know, sometimes, you know, that might feel uncomfortable speaking slowly, but it might sound weird to you, but it sounds right to the examiner. It sounds natural. So yeah, and you can practice this style, that slower speaking style at home, so you feel confident doing it on the IELTS exam. And then we also said, you know, on the actual test, just take a deep breath before you start speaking. And, you know, people get nervous. And, you know, I think everyone gets nervous. So taking a deep breath can help that. And, you know, it will kind of be a reminder, like, I'm going to speak slowly during this part. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be confident. And then the third strategy we have for this is to enunciate words more. And this means to overpronounce them. And this is something you can practice at home. So I'm going to give you an example. My father was a mechanic, but he retired last year. So you can tell the way I practiced it, the way I said it, the syllables were a little separated. They were more emphasized. Obviously, that was an exaggeration. But when you practice at home, you know, overpronounce the syllables a little bit if you're concerned that the examiner might not understand what you're saying. So yeah, but you know, we've known people with all different kinds of accents who have gotten 7.5s, 8s, even 8.5s. And really it's because they know how to answer the questions, they know the format of the speaking test, and they know the right strategies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Jessica. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Shannon, you have something to say to that?
Yeah, I think that was really well summarized. Yeah, I wouldn't be too nervous. Just to follow those strategies. You know, everyone has an accent. Yeah, even native speakers from different countries. So, yeah, I think that's those are great strategies. But yeah, we also want to like help people, and we want to give some strategies for the speaking section, because if you get these strategies right, your accent won't be something to worry about. You'll be able to get a high score. So the speaking section has 3 parts. During speaking part 1, you will be asked questions about yourself, about your interests, things you like to do, where you work, things like that. For speaking part 1, keep your answers short. Only 1 or 2 sentences.
Sorry, just a quick question here. Sorry for the percentage of people having a good band in IELTS here in Nigeria is very low. What could be the problem? So this person here is complaining about the band for Nigerians that is pretty low. So that's a generic, for me, I think that's a generic statement. I mean, it's not a fact. That's what you think. So, I mean, what I can just tell you is do not let that generic statement deter you. Do not let that determine you just practice for yourself and follow the tips given by Shannon and Jessica, and do not go by what the generic statement is that people in Nigeria score low. That might not be true. So yeah. Let's continue.
I love that.
Great.
Yeah, I agree. But yes, so during speaking part 1, keep your answers short, 1 or 2 sentences long. The reason for this is because part 1 is just to show the examiner that you're fluent, that you can speak English really fluently. And that means you don't want to make mistakes. Keep it short. So this is an example. If they ask, what do you like to do in your free time? Your answer could be, I like to read in my free time. I'm currently reading a book about finance. Something like that. Very short, 2 sentences long. Yes, so I'm going to ask you guys a part 1 speaking question, and I want you to type an answer in the comments. So I'm going to ask you, do you like running? Why or why not? So type your answer in the comments, only 1 or 2 sentences long. So do you like running? Why or why not? Yes. And I just saw a question while you guys are typing that. Could you, I think, maybe improve my listening skill? We could talk about listening too. I'll make a note of it.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, I think, so it was improve. So yeah, I think, we talked about this too, that listening can sometimes cause a problem for people because you're not just listening to an audio, you have to write answers at the same time or type them if you're taking a computer exam. It's confusing because some people get lost. If you miss one answer, some people can't find their spot. They can't recover.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That's true.
So it's definitely practicing doing these listening exams and doing them a lot. Oh, good. Great examples. I like running. It makes me say keep fit. Yes, I do like running. It helps in increasing the blood circulation in our body. Good. Okay. Those are the right answers. That's great. Good. That's exactly what you should do on the test. Keep it succinct. The mistake people make for speaking part 1 is they talk too long. They tell a long story, but those answers are perfect. Yeah. I like it's very to the point. Yeah, I love that.
I do like running because it helps me keep fit.
Good ones.
Yeah. But if you want to continue your listening strategy, or so practice listening tests, but practice with authentic exams. Don't find like random listening exams online or with some random websites. Find the authentic listening tests from IELTS sponsored websites like Cambridge, British Council, and IDP. Practice those listening tests, and that'll be almost exactly like the real test. Yeah, that's right. But good. I loved everyone's part 1 responses. That was perfect. Good. So now let's talk about, I guess, speaking part 2. That's a little harder. During speaking part 2, you will be asked to describe a topic. You might be asked to describe something like your favorite band, an intelligent person that you know, a party that you've attended in the past, or pretty much anything, any topic really. So you will have 1 minute to think about your answer and to take some notes, and then you will have 2 minutes to speak on that topic. So our advice is to speak for the full 2 minutes. That will get you a high score. Some people stop at 1 minute or 1 minute and 30 seconds, and you can't get a high score if you stop too early. And you'll know it. The examiner might even say to you, keep going. And then you're like, oh no, I don't have anything else to say. It's hard. Yes. And if the examiner cuts you off, that's okay. That means you've done your job. You're done. That's good. It doesn't mean something bad. Yes. So a lot of people get worried about speaking for 2 minutes straight, but it is possible. Okay, so no, I don't like running because it makes me palpitate. However, I love brisk walking because it helps me keep fit without palpitating. Does this work? I like the answer. I would maybe choose a simpler word than palpitate. I would say, no, I don't like running because it makes me sweat or tired. I would use maybe a slightly more natural word than palpitate, but that's the right idea. It's the right length. 1 or 2 sentences, perfect.
And I like that you added, like, no, I don't like running because it makes me tired, but I do like brisk walking because it's more enjoyable. It's more fun or something like that. It's good. Good job.
I like it.
Yeah, excellent.
But yes, for the part 2, 2-minute speech, practice at home, time yourself. You need to practice feeling what 2 minutes feels like. Another piece of advice for speaking part 2, you have a lot of time to fill. So use specific examples. Plus, you'll get a higher score using some specific examples. So let's say you get a question where they ask you to describe someone that you admire. And let's say you choose your mom. You can say, my mom is a kind person. After you say that, give us an example that shows that your mom is kind. You could say, for example, she volunteers at the local animal shelter every weekend. And that will help improve your score, and it'll help make your speech more interesting and just a better overall speech. So now it's your turn. I want you guys to come up with an example for this. Let's pretend you tell the examiner, my mom is hardworking. What's an example that you could use to prove that your mom works hard?
And that's specific.
Yeah, use a specific example. Like I said, when my mom is kind, she volunteers at the local animal shelter every weekend. Yeah, so use a specific example to say that your mom is hardworking. Like maybe I could say, for example, my mom works late nights and weekends at the hospital or something like that. Make it a specific example. So we'll wait for those responses. But Jessica, do you want to talk about part 3 a little bit too?
Yes. So I'm going to talk a little bit about speaking part 3. So by this point, you're almost done with the speaking section and you're almost there. So in part 3, you're going to get follow-up questions. And these questions are usually about social issues like poverty or education or the environment. So our advice for part 3 questions is this: make your answers 3 to 4 sentences long. So I know you're probably thinking, how do I do this? So we have a formula you can follow. So for every part 3 question, you will 1, answer the question directly, 2, explain your answer, and 3, give an example. Now this example can be from your personal life. It can be from a current event. So we're going to give you an example, but first we're going to look at some. Yeah, like she works around the clock. It shows that she works many hours. Good. Excellent.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you got the right idea. Perfect. Good. So I'm going to read a part 3 question. Should individuals be responsible for helping the environment? So we're going to go to our formula. 1, answer the question. Yes, I do think people should take care of the environment. 2, explain the answer. Well, people should recycle their plastic, take public transport, or educate people in the community. 3, give an example. For example, just last weekend, my friends and I cleaned up garbage on the beach last weekend. So yeah, so that's the formula. Answer, explain, example. And this will make sure that your answers are 3 to 4 sentences long and that your answers are not repetitive. Because some people try to extend the answer and they say the same thing over and over, just in different words.
Yeah.
This is a good formula to follow. Yeah. So I think those are our biggest tips that we have for speaking, for the speaking section in general.
If you want to give it like just general advice about the tone.
Yeah. So I would say, first of all, practice a lot at home. Even if you're not speaking with someone else, it's good to practice. It helps you practice the topics. it makes you comfortable with the format, and it helps with your fluency.
Mm-hmm. And speak out loud. I just want to, I'm sure that's obvious, but speak out loud. Don't just like in your head say, oh, this is what I would say, you know?
Yes. Yeah, your family members might think you're a little crazy, but that's okay. You're going to get a high score in the speaking section. So also remember that speaking is informal and conversational. Yes. So basically, just remember pretend the examiner is like a friend or a neighbor. You want to sound natural. You do not want to sound academic. That is the wrong tone. You want to be natural. You want to say things that people would say in everyday life. Good.
So yes. That would also mean like use contractions. You know, one example we had, someone said, we were like, describe an exciting event that happened, or no, describe a proud moment you had. And he was talking about his graduation, and he said, my joy knew no bounds, or my joy knew no boundaries, or something like that. It's like, oh, you could have said it much more naturally. A native speaker would say, oh, I was really excited, or I was so happy to graduate. So try to sound natural.
What you would really say.
It's something that native speakers or natural speakers would really say in real life. You know, don't make it super complicated. Don't try to plug in these weird idioms that people don't really use.
Yeah. And that reminds us, one of our students came to us and said, well, I just memorized all these idioms for my speaking exam. I'm ready to go. And just in his essay, he would say, you know, I'm on cloud 9 and all these different things that we don't really say that often in English. So, you know, don't memorize idioms. Don't memorize vocabulary list. The same thing goes for writing. You have the vocabulary you need. For speaking, keep it natural, keep it friendly and informal.
No, speaking.
Oh, sorry, did I say writing? For speaking, keep it friendly and informal. For writing, you are going to be, but you still want to be direct and simple and to the point. But for speaking, it's your chance to talk like you're talking to a friend or a neighbor. Yes.
Wow,
Good.
wow,
Okay.
wow. I mean, we've actually, I mean, if we have the whole day today, we might not even be able to finish what we have today. So, and we have only 1 hour, just like I promised. So, someone is actually going to lead us to the next topic. So, someone's question is, what service do you offer? I mean, let's talk about the people that want to get more from you because you have spoken well today. If they need more information, how can they get that?
Yes. Okay. So, well, the first step would be to go to our website, IELTSmarshallscom. I'll put it in here.
Yeah, you want to type in there for people to see?
Yes. Oh, my eyes are not the best. Oh, my contacts are blurry. Okay, 1 second. IELTSmarshallscom. Yes. Okay. So IELTSmarshallscom is our website. On our website, you can sign up for a free writing guide right away. In this writing guide, we give 3 strategies that can help people immediately improve their writing scores that day. So we have a few strategies like the specific name method, things like that. And it's helped our students go up half a band score or even a full band score just right away. And we give a sample essay in that guide, and you should model your own essays after that sample. And we also give 10 study tips to help you raise your band score at least by 1 band score, just by using those tips. You know, besides the free writing guide, we also have courses. We have pre-recorded video courses. And so one of them is opening at the end of the month. I know we talked to you about it too. And this is our writing course. And it's called Get a 7+ on the writing section in 21 days. And basically, we give instructional videos and activities to complete every day for 21 days. And basically, you just need those resources that we give you for 3 weeks, and you'll be ready to get a 7, 8, or 9 on the writing section with that course.
And to sign up for that course, for all Canada Reality followers and community members, we're giving a special link for you guys that you'll have access to, and you can sign up through that link.
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome. Thanks.
And the course also includes writing corrections. We'll be correcting 4 of your essays. You'll be submitting them to us, and we'll be correcting them. And we do video corrections where you'll hear our voice. We'll say, oh, good introduction. It's like an audio correction. So as we correct it, you'll be hearing our voice at the same time, talking to you, giving you our advice. And then we have 3 workshops as part of the course where it's kind of like this, but we'll see your faces too. And you can ask questions, and you know, you can, we'll be writing essays together in real time during that course.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shannon and Jessica. So just before we call it a wrap, I did want to say thank you very much for the discount that you're giving my viewers. Thank you very much. And once you share the link with me, I will definitely be sharing with them. And one thing again I would like to let you know is that I would love to bring you again on my not on Instagram this time around. I want you to bring you to the bigger community now, the YouTube. So you said your program, the next course is going to start April 23rd, right?
So it's
Okay.
the link, the registration will be open.
Okay, so what's going to happen is that prior to the registration commencement, I'm going to bring you on the YouTube live. That's a larger community, and probably will have more audience, and you will be talking about this again, okay? But to be sincere with you, you guys, you've actually done justice to the audience today. And I want my audience out there to start appreciating them now by in the comment section. I mean, I need you to appreciate them.
Yeah.
If you have any question before they go, please drop it in the comment section, please. And someone is asking, is the course free? It's a good question. Is it free?
That's a really good question. So yeah, so the writing course isn't free, but like you said, it's going to be discounted, but we do offer a lot of free advice. In fact, we believe that it's important to give most of our advice away for free so that anyone can get a high score and move to Canada. So again, we have the free guide on the website that you can download. And then we also have a newsletter. We send weekly emails with tips and strategies for all sections of the exam. And that's free.
Okay.
That's free too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people are already saying thank you very much. I mean, once again, I want to say, Jessica and Shannon, I mean, to be sincere with you, within the short notice that I gave you, you were still able to come up with this. I'm really, really excited. Somebody's also saying thank you out there too. Thank you very much for your time and for everything you said today. And I know you have more to say, but because we're restricted by time.
We understand. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but to be sincere with you, before the course commences in April 23rd, we'll walk behind the scene, right? And somebody is saying thanks to the presenter and our guests. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll work out something again on YouTube, which is a larger community, okay? I mean, we have over 24, going to 25,000 subscribers. So there we should have more people joining us. And yeah, we'll be able to come again, and we have a better platform. So what do you want to say? You want to drop your last comment before you leave, please?
Oh, and we're gonna, so if we see any questions before we leave, but we just want to say too, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And this was really fun. We love talking about the IELTS, as you can tell. We have a lot to say. And, you know, thank you to the audience for being so communicative and responsive. It was so fun.
Yeah, thank you for participating.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
It's a great audience. It was fun. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, have a nice time. All right, viewers. I mean, yeah, all right, viewers. Yes. I feel you must have enjoyed the presentation that I brought for you today. I mean, Shannon and Jessica from IELTSmarshall. They dropped their website. You can actually visit their website, IELTSmarshallscom. I'm going to share it in the YouTube section too for you to see more of it. So, I mean, go to their website, learn more about them, see what they do, see what they talk about. I mean, I spoke to them personally, and after speaking to them, I felt it was very good for me to bring them on this platform so that they can actually come and speak to you, and I'm very happy they actually came. All right, so I come back to you again on this platform next week with another very wonderful guest of mine that I'll be bringing in, and I want to tell you to please just a moment, I'm trying to. All right. Yeah, so I want to say thank you very much for joining us today. And yes, I'll be coming up again next week with another resource, with another very informative topic that I'll be sharing with you. And I'll be bringing another guest to come and tell you how you can actually immigrate into Canada, why I created this platform in the first place. I know the value of information. I know people are out there outside Canada yearning for this information. They want to migrate to Canada. They want to go to the US and so many places, but they do not have this information. And that's why I sacrificed myself to give this information. And I will not stop at it. I will continue to do it Instagram live will be on. Our YouTube live will be on. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please, it doesn't cost you anything. Those are the ways you can use to encourage us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Canada Reality. Follow us on our Instagram, Facebook. We have a community on Facebook too. You can always follow us there too. It's Twitter too. Till I come back to you again next week Sunday with another very important guest. Please stay safe. COVID-19 is real. Wear your mask, social distancing, and take the vaccine when it's available to you. See you again. Bye for now.